What's going on, guys? Mully is back, and I've got some more Freeze Mage gameplay. Um, I've been testing out Freeze Mage in Standard fairly recently, but we're going up against a Rogue today, and I'm gonna do my typical try-harding here to see what type of Rogue it is based on how many cards my opponent tosses and how many my opponent ends up keeping. The only Rogue deck that we're really seeing in the meta at the time of this recording though is Miracle Rogue, and 3 cards get tossed, only 1 gets kept, so I'm pretty sure this is Miracle Rogue. It's funny though because this hand is terrible. We don't keep any of these cards against Rogue. I don't think we keep any of these cards in any matchup, honestly. So I knew I was going to end up tossing the whole hand anyway. I just wanted to see what my opponent would toss, and I get an arguably worse hand. Flame Strike's okay, but it's really slow. But the first 3 turns here, I don't get an ideal start. I end up drawing Frost Nova back. Turn 2, I draw Emperor Thaurissan. I have to end up pinging my opponent. I don't draw any of my cards that draw more cards. So didn't pick up a Loot Hoarder here. On my turn 3, I pick up Frostbolt. I have to ping again. Frostbolt is fine against Rogue. I'm usually fine having Frostbolt in my hand against a Rogue, just because it can, you know, take out an SI or, I guess, Earthen Ring Farseer. But yeah, the first couple turns are pretty boring. I finally pick up Acolyte of Pain, but it's a little bit late. I'm just gonna hold it until turn 5 and then just ping my opponent again. So really not much action going on. I didn't even pick up a secret, which I would have liked to just play turn 3 and just say go. But no Arcane Intellect either. My opponent drops down Blood Mage turn 4. This usually tells me that the hand might be a little bit slow on my opponent's end as well. I go ahead and just immediately drop Acolyte turn 5 and just ping it. I'm hoping I can bully the Blood Mage, which is a bit risky since you really don't want to leave up Blood Mage Thanos against a Rogue, just in general. But my thought process at the time was that if I ping the Acolyte, then he can't backstab it. But turn 5 comes up and he just coins out Auctioneer. He just goes off. He's going to prep into a Fan of Knives that takes out Acolyte, so my plan did not work out at all. And I believe 2 other cards are going to be coming up here. He had the second copy of Prep in his hand as well. So here he's gonna swing at me, which tells me that the card he's gonna prep is Conceal, which it turns out to be. So this is looking a little bit scary here. He swings with the dagger, and on this turn I went through a ton of thinking, and basically it just came down to I was really just trying to see if he could kill me from 25 HP with 6 mana, now that both preparations have been used and my opponent no longer has the dagger equipped. It took me a little bit, but I was just counting up all the possible different combinations, mainly with double Cold Blood and double Eviscerate with a Blood Mage out, with that spell power bonus. So after adding everything up and just double checking just to make sure that he couldn't kill me, I concluded that he actually cannot kill me with 6 mana. The most he could do is 23 damage. That's the max. So I just go ahead and just drop Thaurissan in his face, so I can start getting some discounts. And my opponent's turn comes up and he's just gonna go off again, because I mean, when Auctioneer's out, I mean, you really have to be thinking ahead as the Miracle Rogue and know what you're gonna do on your next turn while your opponent's taking their turn. So Backstab, which I'm not even sure, I don't recall actually expecting Backstab in the combination of different cards that he could play. I may have though. But Backstab's gonna combo into double Cold Blood, which my opponent ended up having, and an Eviscerate. So he's gonna put me at 7. ultimately, but he was deciding whether or not he was going to go face with Blood Mage or just take out Thaurissan. But he decides to go face at the end of the day. And then here I believe he plays a second conceal. So now this is looking even scarier. Now, despite making a pretty good read on the cards that were potentially in his hand, which most of them turned out to be, I get really spooked here, and I misplay pretty badly here on turn 7. I Arcane Intellect without counting up my hand size. I have 10 cards in my hand, but I'm going to end up burning a card because I didn't realize I had 10 cards in hand until right after I casted it. So I burn a Frost Nova, which isn't awful because I already had a discounted one in hand, but I go ahead and use the discounted Frost Nova, freeze the board, go face with Thaurissan since I don't really have a choice, and that just shows how spooked I was. I tried to Ice Lance the Auctioneer and then realized it was stealth, so oh man, this was pretty scary. But you can't do this type of thing when you're playing as Freeze Mage. If you're the Freeze Mage player, you really just have to think through everything and not get scared, because you end up in these type of situations all the time. But yeah, my opponent, turns out he had the second Eviscerate in hand, even from last turn. That was not a top deck. He backstabbed Thaurissan, played Drake, and I had decided last turn not to use any burn because I wanted to use it all in one turn to kill him. And you might suspect I would have had lethal if I used some of a Frostbolt last turn. But this turn, because I have Power Blast in hand and Emperor Thaurissan down, I actually do have lethal. But once again, I misplay badly, and I completely miss lethal because I was so terrified and I was so concerned about staying alive, and I didn't count the 21 damage worth of burn in my hand. And between that and Thaurissan, I can do 26 to him right now, because all the Frostbolts are free and the Ice Lances are free. So I just straight up don't see it at all, which is really unfortunate. I end up going with Cone of Cold here, and then I go ahead and I use Arcane Intellect to draw, and the Ice Block literally saved me. If I hadn't drawn that, I would have lost the game, and over a huge misplay because I missed lethal. Those are the types of things you really can't miss, though, when you're playing Freeze Mage or Miracle Rogue or really any combo deck in general in Hearthstone. The first question you should always ask is, can I kill my opponent when your turn begins? Which, that should be the first question in general anyway. But my opponent's going to drop Earthen Ring. He saps away my Thaurissan to burn a card. He gets Doomsayer, but even with Earthen Ring, now I realize that I have the damage in my hand to actually take him out. I'm able to get him from 20, especially with Blood Mage. But I'm double counting, I'm triple counting, just looking at all the damage, and I realize I have enough. So I'm gonna drop Blood Mage, and I'm going to show him the lethal. But aside from everything else I said, the moral of the story is always run Death Ball. Never cut Death Ball. But yeah, that's gonna be the game, guys. If you guys like what you saw, feel free to hit the like button, thumbs up just below the video, dislike it if you did not like what you saw. I'm not going to tell you where that button is because you guys already know where that is. But anyway, if you guys don't want to miss any more content from me, just feel free to subscribe to the channel. I definitely have some more content coming down the pipe. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, guys. Links to all the social clubs I hang out at will also be in the description box below. Twitter, Google+, things of that nature. But Mully has left the building, and you guys take care. Peace.